1, 2, 3.
Hi guys, I'm Laila.
I'm Sarah.
And this is Not Your Usual Podcast. Welcome back guys, another week. So exciting.
Welcome back.
Go watch the episode from 2 weeks ago if you guys haven't watched it yet.
Make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube as well.
Yes, do
Follow
that.
us on Instagram, Not Your Usual Podcast, TikTok, all platforms like you can find us.
But today, we're back with another guest.
Yay! I'm so excited for the guest season. I feel like me and Layla had the opportunity to introduce ourselves and talk about deep things that are not so deep, things that are a bit controversial, and now we get the chance to just talk to other people about it. I love meeting new people and even like diving deeper with people that I already know. So, do you want to introduce our new guest today?
Yes, so this guest is very close to me, near and dear to my heart, and this is Jada, my sister.
Happy to be here. I was so excited when I found out that you were doing the podcast. Obviously, as your sister, I support you in any way, especially you and your best friend Sarah.
Yes.
So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. She actually flew down all the way from New York just for this.
Yes.
Not just for this.
But yeah, she's visiting from Brooklyn, so I was really excited to have Jada on because like I really feel like she's an inspiration for me. She's a role model in my life. Like a lot of her her character and like what she embodies is like what I expect to be like by 24 and just like in the future, just like all my life, even since we were little. Like I said, like we just had a conversation in the car. Like even when I was younger, like when I was like in elementary school, I felt safe and comfortable around you just because of like the vibe and how just welcoming and comforting you are. So
No, I feel like that's what it should be. And should we just get right into it?
yeah, we should.
I just wanted to say I'm also really happy that she's here because it's my first time meeting her today actually. Like not right now, but we got to like meet each other earlier, but I've heard so much about her and we also like know each other from social media, but you know you can't really know someone just from watching their
Until you
stories.
meet them like
Yeah.
in person.
But I've heard so many good things from Layla, and I feel like today, like doing a podcast is a great way to actually like talk, especially if you're being true and authentic, which I know you will be.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. And also,
Me
you
too.
remind me of me a lot, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, like your energy, like the calmness of it just reminds me of me,
Thanks.
for sure.
I think I said that to you earlier about how like you remind me of me.
Yeah, you said that in my head. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I'm with my sisters.
Yes.
My sisters.
You know, my sister's name is Laila.
Laila?
So like Layla.
It's spelled the same way but pronounced differently.
That's
Yeah.
so cool.
And I said, like, I feel like whenever, like, I usually will ask both of you for advice,
Oh
and
yeah.
yes, and I'll say, like, yeah, she said the same
It's
thing.
good because you're older than me, so I'm like, okay, like maybe like I am not so. Yeah.
No, yeah, you got it. For sure.
Okay.
So I guess we can talk about our relationship, because we kind of have, like, a unique story,
Yeah,
so.
we do. So should you kick it off or should I?
I'll kick it off a little bit. So obviously, like, we don't look like completely alike. Jada and I are half sisters. We have the same dad, but not the same mom. So what's interesting is like we met, like we literally, most sisters or most siblings don't meet upon birth, but like we didn't. I met Jada when I was like around 8 years old. And she was 11, and then we got to reconnect when I was 9 and she was 12. So I didn't know that Jada was a sister of mine until I was 8 years old. I had no idea. So her coming into my life, I was really happy, but I was also going through like a time in my life where like I've told you guys about like my mom passing away and stuff like that. So it was like, okay, mom passes away, like new family member type of thing. But like literally, so like it was a really interesting point in my life, but I feel like because of who Jada is, like I explained, like even though it was kind of like weird, like, I feel like she really made, like, the adjustment pretty easy for me just because of how, like, open you were about the situation, as open as you could be to me. And I feel like you really, like, made the distinction between, like, it not being, like, my fault or, like, something to do with me and more something to do with, like, you know what I'm saying, the situation. But what do you think? Like, how was it, the fact that we met and, like, we didn't meet upon birth? Like,
yeah, like, again, like, we know the story, you know the story, but for the viewers, we met on accident, which is crazy. I first met my dad on accident. As you know, I was shopping, but I met Laila. This was a planned visit, and I remember you were standing behind Dad. You were crouching on his legs and, like, peeking out at me, and that was my first time seeing you. And I was thinking, wow, like, she's so shy. But I never...
like, wow, first time.
No, it's true. Like, you were just, like, a little talk
I was
to me.
small.
I didn't even know that, guys. I'm shocked.
And then it's so long ago, so I forget how, like, the transition between us meeting that one time versus me going
Yeah, me
over
too.
every
kind
other
of.
weekend. But that happened, and I was so happy too, and I was happy to have a sister.
Me too.
I didn't have that. It was just me and my brother at the time.
Yeah, we both have a brother, guys, Julio. He's 28. He's a little older.
Yeah, he's 28, but I always wanted a little sister because I was technically the little
Yes,
sister.
exactly.
So it sort of changed the dynamics going from youngest to middle. And I feel like I play so many different roles. Like on my mom's side, I'm completely different. On my dad, I'm like, I think he views me as one of the oldest.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I guess I technically am. Yeah, but we met on accident, and our sisterhood has felt like so peaceful, I would say.
Yeah, I would say.
We've never argued once.
Never.
Ever. I like respect everything. Yeah, I respect everything you say, even our disagreements. It's never been toxic in any way,
Never.
I would say, and it really feels like a safe space. And for me, it feels like God's timing that I met you when I did.
Wow.
Truly, because I like if it wasn't for me, I wonder how that transition would have been for you.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Because it was a very, like, odd time in my life. And, like, you being there, it was almost not like, okay, it's a distraction, but it was just, like, something so, like, comforting in a time of, like, chaos that was happening. So I was, like, really appreciative to have you. And, like I said, I know I can always depend on Jada. I know I can always go to her anytime, any problem that I need. Like, if she's working, like, okay, or if I'm working, like, we might not be able to connect, but at the end of the day, like, I know you'll always be there for me, like, no matter what.
So how did you guys, like, feel when you first met? Like, did you feel scared? If, like, was there any doubt or anything, you know? Like, how did you keep the contact? Did you always talk, or was there times when you didn't?
Yeah, so I mean, Laila and I had a routine because my brother and we would visit Dad and Laila every other weekend, so we would see each other like that. I think the biggest test or transition in our relationship was when you moved to Florida.
True.
Because I felt like, wow. So true. I was like, wow, like I was just finally getting comfortable with technically like my new dad and my new sister, for it to be like ripped away again. It almost felt like part two, except I was older and more aware. So that was a true test for me.
How old were you?
How old was I when?
I think you were 18.
Okay, yeah. So I was just about to go into college.
I always think that those ages, like, when you're in them, you're like so old, but then at the back, it's like, dude, you're a kid.
You're
Even
young.
now, like, I know I'm a kid, but you know what I mean?
But like 15-year-old thinks you're grown.
Yes.
And like
It's like
20.
18, you're still developing your brain. You probably were like shocked.
Yeah, I was shocked and sad because it felt like, for me, it was like, damn, this is happening again. Like, I'm losing these people again. That's what it felt like. But that was when the test came in. Like, so obviously we had no choice because we're not seeing each other every other weekend. So we have to text more, we have to call more. And
I feel like we did a pretty good job. Like, seriously, like, I don't think there was ever, like, probably more than, like, 2 weeks without us speaking. Like,
That's good.
seriously, we definitely, like, now especially, we definitely keep up with each other every single week, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I feel like that just comes with being, like, more accountable. Like, even though I was, like, 15, 16 when I moved to Florida, like, I still knew, like, okay, like, this is my sister, like, I know, like, my brother is there, too, like, I have to keep up, like, you know what I'm saying? So, I feel proud of us, because I feel like we've done a good job. Like, how do you feel? Because I know, like, you moved too, Sarah, from Cape Coral, like, you don't see Laila as often, like, how does that feel?
Well, it's a little weird because Well, I just wanted to say also that it's crazy for me to listen to this and imagine you both being younger, and it's like, wait, like there's no way that you're grown now.
I know,
You're not
right?
even grown, you're just growing up. It's
Yes.
not the same. Like I feel like you were saying, sometimes I feel like I'm so old, but I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I'm like just watching, like just visualizing you guys like growing, and it's like, oh my god, like one day we're gonna be old.
Exactly.
God willing, you know.
Yeah.
Like we will get to that point. But so me and my sister, we grew up together. She's 5 years older than me, and when we moved from Brazil, she moved with me. Like we were both in the airport, no English, like just trying to figure it out how to get here, and like our parents were waiting for us, but like we didn't really know what to do. Like the only thing we really knew how to say was like yes, you know. And she figured everything else out because she was 18. But then me moving here, I felt like that was like the biggest separation, because every time that we moved, like even when we moved from Massachusetts to Florida, she moved with me. So it was just like, wow, like I'm really leaving her now. But like I wasn't really sad about it because I feel like we were both in such different journeys of our lives. So it's like, okay, there's nothing I can do, there's nothing she can do. And my sister is a bit cold-hearted too. Like she's a great person, loving and nurturing, but she's more of like, just do what you gotta do.
Like less
It is what it
emotional.
is. She's very emotional,
Oh,
but
okay.
she's more like logic. Like she's like, you're building your life, and I'm like, are you serious?
I can't believe this is happening.
Like it's like, are you not sad? Like do you not miss me? And she'd be like, yeah, I miss you, but like you're busy with college. And I'm like, fine, I'll go and do my homework.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I definitely do miss her, especially because she's pregnant right now. She has a baby, so it's like, sometimes I feel like I'm missing out on like the growth of everything. But what keeps me like down is the fact that I know that we're both in such different journeys. It's kind of like I'm doing me, she's doing her.
Exactly.
And I feel like you guys could relate to that because you're living in New York, you're living in Florida, and it's like, you can't be there for all of her celebrations or failures, but like she knows that you're here if she does need you, and that's how I feel like you and my sister are too.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like, this is how it feels.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
that's the true meaning of sisterhood. Like that's how you can't compare it to friendship, because it's like, okay, I just know that you got me no matter what, like no matter what. Like a friend, it's like I know you got me, but it's like, I don't know how to explain it.
It's just like a different type of bond.
It's
Yeah.
like
so internal.
Yeah, very
It's not like in
internal.
an offensive way, but it's more of like, if something was to happen, we could go the rest of our lives without talking, which like
We wouldn't, but
like yeah,
like you'll be at the
with a
event.
sister, it's like I can't call my grandma without her like mentioning something about her. Or,
Yeah. The life is so intertwined.
And I feel like it's just like as like
Experiences.
especially like as a woman, I would say
Yeah.
too. Like I have like, it's different. Like if you're gonna go to a brother about something than like a sister, like a woman that has maybe had similar experiences and like knows how you feel.
Yeah.
And especially like I feel like that sometimes like it's the fact that like you know how like our dad is too, because sometimes like it's, I feel kind of like, well, for context guys, I live with my step siblings right now, and like obviously like I live with my stepmom, and like we have like two different parents technically, and so like it's hard for me to relate to them about certain things, or if like me and dad get into a disagreement, or like he says something that like I'm confused about, like sometimes you can give like a better context or a better perspective on like basically regulating my emotions when it comes to those certain things. So it's like, okay, like you know this man, like how he can be.
I just
right?
feel like it's very validating.
Yeah, it
so
is.
Even for me, if something happens with my mom or my dad, I can just send her a screenshot or give her a call, like, Mom said this.
Yes.
And even if it's something like not even funny, we can both laugh about it because we know her.
Mhm.
And like, even like from anyone in our family, it's like you might not have had the same exact experiences, but you had them.
Mhm.
Like you were there. You know?
Mhm.
It's just insane to me.
Yeah, and even though we didn't meet at birth, we still grew up together.
We
Like,
did.
Yeah, and I wasn't 5, but I was still a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know anything about life.
Like I can't even think to the fact that we were like 8 and 11 and 9 and 12. Like that doesn't even feel real to me. Like I like imagine if somebody saw the future and saw we'd be sitting here like right now
This
together.
podcast.
That's crazy.
I feel like this is
Yes, literally. And like one thing I did want to touch on that I can say for Jada is that like she really grounds me into like the perspective that like okay, like life exists and life is real, like because like she's a little bit older than me. We're only 3 years apart, but I feel like she's shown me in each chapter like okay, like this is what like not like what you do next, and it's like okay, this is what could happen. Like you graduating high school, going to college, like you know what I'm saying? And like now the position you're in life now with your job, like and now like you're living in New York like with your boyfriend, like that's just so like grounding to me because it's like okay, like this is real life. Like how is it like living with a partner and just like in this stage of life that you're in, like how do you feel right now?
I feel blessed, I think.
Okay.
That's the best way I could put it. I remember I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
This is so embarrassing, but my Instagram caption was NYU bound because I thought I would go to NYU.
Yeah.
I thought I would be at New York University. I didn't get in, first of all, so that felt embarrassing. But I always had New York as a target. Meeting Darius was great. He's my boyfriend. Meeting Darius was great because it felt like he also wanted to move to New York, so it didn't feel like our goals were necessarily disaligned. But I'm so happy that I'm able to live in the apartment that I do and have the job that I do.
Yes.
And I feel really grounded and just my life feels full. Like I have hobbies and I feel happy with my family and happy with my friends. So
Yay.
I don't have a dog. Like, I don't think I have any complaints.
You have a dog?
Yeah, I do have a he's a month, no, he's a year and a half. He's like a little Shih Tzu, half poodle too, so he's cute.
Nice.
I'll show you pictures.
Okay.
after.
I feel like maybe I saw, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'll show you pictures. It's just, I just feel happy and fulfilled, and I don't think, for example, like me being your age, I wouldn't have thought, okay, Jada, this is how your life is going to be at 24. I moved to New York with no money, literally, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to figure this out. Me and Darius are just going to figure it out, and we did, and that's why I feel so blessed, and just because I felt like I came from nothing.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's so beautiful to hear, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially, like, I'm sure that there's still a lot of things that you want to do and, like, places you want to be, but you can still feel blessed even though you're not there yet.
Yeah, exactly.
By the simple things. And, like, from watching your stories, I know you cook a lot, and, like, I know you work out, and, like, you like reading, and, like, you like music.
Yeah.
So I just feel like once you can find the things that actually, like, make you happy without depending on things that you can't really depend on, if that makes sense, I feel like that's really important.
Yeah.
It's inspiring too.
For sure, it's good to know what feeds your spirit. I remember someone saying that to me, because like I know that I really depend on exercise to make me feel better. So let's say I'm in a funk and I don't have enough time to do like exercise or enough time to do something else. Like it has to be the first one for me because I know that feeds my spirit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's so important to be said, honestly, because I feel like this is more like, to me at least, it's more like a spiritual than a physical sometimes. So if you're not feeding your spirit, your physical might be like falling apart and you have no idea why. What would you say are some other things that helps you with that?
I'm really big on things being pretty, and this might not seem important, but I need my space to be pretty.
I get it.
So like taking time not only in maybe pampering yourself and giving yourself a deep condition or like a mani-pedi, but also when's the last time you reorganized your room? Oh, is there a way I can add more plants or give it to the space that I'm in?
Like aesthetically pleasing?
Yeah, like I think it affects your mental too. Like it creates a new sense of peace. So I'm really big on that as well. Anything that makes me feel peaceful, I'm like, I got it, I'm good. So I remember my coworker, she met me at a time where it was just a really stressful time at the company, and she asked me, how are you so calm? And I said, I just have to be, like, I can't
let it.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, that's good though. Like I've said this the last episode, I'm working on finding some hobbies for myself. Like, still haven't purchased the coloring book, guys. Like if you've watched, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna color. Like that's what I'm saying. I have no excuse, but I did start reading a little bit. I went and thrifted some books, but you're right about the exercise. Like the exercise does really help me. Like last week I did go like 4 times to the gym So I was proud of myself for doing that, and like, cause I feel like I can't lie to myself, like,
Yeah.
that like it doesn't bring me like endorphins, it doesn't make me feel good, because it does. So I think, like you said, focusing, I know for you too, like,
I hear you talk about the gym all the time.
yes, no, because it does, but feeding your spirit really does help me as well.
And like, I wouldn't say that I'm like a gym girl or a gym rat. It's just more of a thing where I like to release energy. Like, I wouldn't do a Zumba class. I've done it before, but you know what I mean? It's like, I mean, if you invite me, I would probably go just for the fun of
I
it.
feel the same way about Zumba.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, but what I'm saying is like a cycling or just like something that I can get my energy out. Today I did some legs at the gym, and then I did a little yoga. Just like nothing crazy, just like stretching, breathing, just so I can like, you know, relax and stretch out my body. And after like the day goes by and it's like 5 o'clock, I'll think to myself, what did you do today? And if that's not part of it, like an exercise, then I feel like a bomb. Not in a way that I'm not shaming myself, more of like I don't feel as good as I could have.
Exactly.
And some days you're not gonna make it. Like some days I don't make it to the gym. Some days I have work or I feel super tired. I just want to take the day off. But I feel like the days where I can't make it and I make the time, it's so rewarding to know that I put myself there and I tried the best that I could to be there. And
Exactly.
make it happen, you know.
Because it feels like a commitment to yourself. And one thing I'm big on is keeping myself accountable and never lying. I told Laila when I'm here, I'm going to wake up really early and do laps in the pool.
Did you?
Yeah.
She did this morning.
I woke up really early and I was doing laps in the pool
Yeah.
because I told myself that I was going to do it. And I think that's big on my philosophy to how I approach life. Like I told myself I was going to go to work. I told myself I had a job in DC at one point. And I was like, I'm going to find a way to stick at the same company but change to New York. And I did that. So I'm big on like, you said it, now you have to do it, and don't stop until it gets done, sort of thing.
I think I should start thinking about that more because I tell myself a lot of things, and sometimes I'll just let circumstances get in the way and it kind of just gets crumbled up. But I should be more. I told myself I was a model, so I
yeah, do it.
Yeah, for
Yes.
sure.
You know, I feel like it's also a test to your mind. Even the lap pool thing, like the yoga. Are you gonna do your yoga?
I have to.
Okay, so
We just got out of like a 30-day challenge. Like I was telling you, yeah, we were doing a mile every day for 30 days, and we did. We low-key ate it up. Like we held each other accountable. Yeah.
I do too. But like also like my job, I walk a lot for it. So some days it's like okay, like I'm literally walking 6 miles right now, you know.
Yeah.
And I think I only skipped 2 days. I'm gonna be honest, but it was just because of the working. And I don't like to use work as an excuse because if you can go work for someone and make them money, then you can work on your body and yourself. But for the yoga, I was like, okay, like this is not any crazy yoga. It's literally 20 minutes. And if I told myself I was gonna do it and I have the time right now, like I might as well just get it out the way. Because I feel like your brain will understand if you're a disciplined person or if you're not. Like if you tell yourself, I'm not eating past this time, and then it's this time and you're eating, your brain is literally laughing at you, I feel like. That's me at least. I'm just like, dude, like, how many times are you gonna say that? Or how many times are you gonna say you're gonna
It's like a
gym?
cycle.
No, you know?
But I feel like that's like with any bad habit though.
Yeah, for
or like
sure.
it could be even just like it could be going to the gym, it could even be like drinking alcohol or something like that. Like not to be heavy, sleeping in, like anything. You can just keep
Or talking to a person.
or talking to a person you know
said
isn't
you're
good for
gonna
you.
Why are you still talking to them?
And like you have to really feel like I feel like that's just distinguishing like what's beneficial to you and what's not. Like you have to really see what is and like trust your instinct. We were talking about in the car on the way here.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so how do you feel like you can distinguish your instinct from anxiety?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question because sometimes it's so hard to know. But I
For
think
me, it's like
yeah.
that now.
For everyone, it just feels like all the same, all jumbled up in one. But I think instinct feels so grounding for some reason. Anxiety makes my mind go crazy, and instinct makes me feel so sound. I feel like even in New York, there's a lot of weird situations I escaped on the train or whatever the case may be because I listened to my instinct. I'm like, something doesn't feel right, I'm gonna leave. And anxiety is like, someone is gonna come in this train right now.
Yeah. It's
But
just
instinct doesn't feel that way. It's like, You should leave. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
cool.
I also feel like for both, it's either one or the other. Like, for instance, you either leave or you get in a bad situation. Anxiety gives you so many different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like,
Exactly.
you can feel it, like,
It makes you
bothering
question.
you. Yeah. And like,
Mm-hmm.
the other one I feel like bothers you more, like, in your stomach. The other, I don't know.
No, it's
Like,
true.
what do you think? I
It's
feel like
true.
the gut feeling, the real gut feeling is more of like,
A physical.
It's
Yeah.
You
down
can
here.
feel it, or in like
Yeah.
your heart. Like something is just like it makes you want to physically get out of a
Yeah.
situation. I feel
But
like
the mental is like,
it's
you
all
have so many
here.
options, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's true. Like your gut, like scientifically, is your second brain. That's why I was like made to drink kombucha.
Oh yeah,
Because
she
it
did
helps
say
your-
that to me.
It
Do you
helps
drink
your
that?
gut. Yeah, I do. I like it.
I never drank it. One time I was going to buy it and I saw it was alcohol and like I was like not drinking alcohol. So I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I'm not getting it.
It
Well,
does
what did
taste
you,
like a
didn't
mixture.
you say it was like if somebody likes alcohol and wants a mocktail to drink that
I
today?
feel like if someone likes the taste of alcohol or they want to stop and just try a mocktail, just drink kombucha because it has like a punch. You know, when you take a shot of vodka and it's like, oh, like kombucha is really tart in that way.
Is the alcohol not like harming to your body though? Like I know that might be a stupid question, but I just don't know much about it.
No, it is harming to your body. It's like obviously.
The kombucha one?
Oh no, kombucha is not like the alcohol. No, kombucha is great for your
Yeah.
body. It cleans your gut, and your gut. When you feel gut feelings, there's a reason it's down here because you have feelings down here too. It's like your second brain, as like scientists say. So when you say, "Oh, I have a gut feeling," like, there's a scientific reason why you have that and why you feel it down here. So you
Yeah.
guys are right. Like,
Mhm.
yeah.
Maybe I should start drinking kombucha.
I know. I'm like, let's try it.
Get out there.
Like honestly. But I was also wondering, guys. So when we're talking about meaning and like feeding our spirits, this and that, what do you think now is like the meaning of life? Like, what do you think is like the purpose of life now? Like, I know that's a deep question, but I feel like my perspective changes like as I gain more knowledge. So for me right now, I feel like the meaning of life is connecting and sharing like basically knowledge with others. And that doesn't have to mean like factually like, yeah, like this plus this equals this. But I mean just like knowledge and like your character and your spirit. Like you can be giving knowledge to somebody just by acting a certain way or behaving a certain
That's
way.
so real.
Or yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what the meaning of life is to show people what you've learned, but like not in a cocky way, but through like love and grace. Like what do
Yeah.
you think?
I think the meaning of life changes relative to the situation you're in currently.
Yes.
So the meaning of life for me right now would probably be, hate to say it, but create like generational wealth for me, for my future family, and heal, like sort of heal my trauma generationally too.
Got it.
And also, I don't come from the best neighborhood, so it's sort of about me working up to give myself the life I deserve right now, and also loving people and being warm and open and receiving that back. Yeah.
For sure.
How about you, Sarah?
I agree that it can change, but I feel like one for me that will never change is definitely like getting to know yourself and like you know how it's like know thyself or like know yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like that and also getting closer to God because ever since I was little I've had a relationship with God. Well, no, ever since I was little I knew about God, and the more that I grow, it's like I'm able to build an actual relationship. But the more that I read the Word and I'm like actively engaged with church and I'm like with Christian friends or like even people who just really believe in God, whether they're Christian or not, it's like I feel like I'm getting closer in a way, and it makes me feel like that is the meaning of life in a way, because it's like, oh, I don't need to get it like that, but like it's like I really just want to like be okay when I die. No offense.
No, and that's so real.
You know, you never
it
know
really
what's
is.
going to happen, and that's not the reason why I believe in God.
Oh yeah, but
it's
it's a plus.
secure.
Sorry,
Yeah,
it's a plus.
So I took philosophy class in my sophomore year of college, and they were pretty much saying that if you believe in God, you don't lose anything.
Or yes, I saw
and
that.
if you die and you find out that
He wasn't real.
You didn't lose anything. You just got to live a more fulfilling life because of the benefits that believing in God does give you. Even though most philosophers don't believe in God, you can look it up. And I actually had to write an essay about how like God isn't real, but it just made me believe that God is even more real, because everything that they were saying, I had like an excuse of my own to like back it up. But you know how professors are, they don't want your opinion, they want facts. And whatever the other person said, I got like a 98 on it, so that was good. But it wasn't my true opinion, because my true opinion is that God is real. And the other choice was, if you don't believe in God and you die and you find out that He did exist, then it's like, what now? You know what I mean? And it's like, it's not like, I'm not gonna say you're gonna get punished because I'm not God and I don't know, but I just feel like the closer I get, everything else just falls into place and makes more sense, you know. So I think that is the meaning of life, to get to know yourself and to get to know God. But I also agree with what you guys said, to give knowledge and connect, because there's so many people in the world and there's just so many things that you can teach and learn. And like you said, healing generational trauma, like I feel like I have such a big, what's the word? Oh, like not baggage. It's like I have a big like
burden? Not burden.
Weight
like,
on your back?
I literally said the very wrong word. Like a job. I have a big job with my family. Like sometimes I feel like it's my entire responsibility to like heal my whole family. But then you have to remember that that is on them. Like you can heal yourself.
Yeah.
You can motivate other people to heal and motivate other people to create generational wealth for themselves. Which I also want to do that as well. That's why like I agree with both of you guys. But my main two will always be like what I said. But like I said, like you can motivate them and you can push them and you can tell them what to do, but if they don't want to heal, then they won't. And that's like something that's a great reminder for even like all of us, like right here, that like there might be things that you don't know that you need healing with, but you still do, especially if it's something that you're constantly growing on, you know.
I agree. And I feel like I agree with everybody's, like I feel like everybody's answer is like tied into one, like, and I feel like in terms of like the healing that you're saying, I feel like you can find that through people, kind of like, I don't know, like when you meet someone, whether it's a friendship or a relationship, sometimes they'll say something or like they'll notice something inside of you that will like you didn't know, maybe you did know about yourself, but like you didn't at the same time, like a behavior that you've been dealing with, or like a trigger, like, and it'll help heal you. Like I'm not saying that the person will, but like you identify it and it's your choice to work with yourself.
It's your choice to take accountability.
Exactly.
And to fix it.
For sure. How do you guys feel about like trauma in that way though? Like do you feel like, okay, once an event happens for you, like, you should stick with that, like, tattooed on you, meaning, like, okay, like, if a family member passed away, or, like, something happened to your mom when you were younger, or you when you were younger, like, how much impact do you think that should have on your life and, like, how you define yourself?
Trauma is so interesting to me because I feel like the impact can be positive or negative, but it's the same amount of energy for both. So obviously, let's say a kid grew up with a parent who dealt with alcoholism, for example. The kid can either become an alcoholic themselves because they saw those behaviors, or choose to not approach alcohol with that same relationship. But either way, I think it's the same amount of energy. So for trauma with me, I try to take as much good as I can from it. I learn now how to approach like relationships in my life, romantic and friendship. I think I learned how to approach relationships openly with you as well. I think even growing up with you, meeting you later, I learned how to be, I think, a sister, like a true sister, and I learned that from you. And I guess the situation was maybe traumatic in nature. I to hear a story, and I'm like, what the heck?
I know.
But
it seems fake, but I promise it's real.
No, and I just try to take any situation I go through and use it as a learning, because if I don't, then it'll just be my story, and I know my story is bigger than that. Yeah, it's just like something that happened to me, whatever. But where I'm going and who I am now is just bigger and greater than any bad thing that's ever happened to me.
Exactly.
I love that.
How about you?
I honestly agree with everything, and I feel like if you are able to turn your bad circumstances into a lesson or into something that you can really just teach other people and shape yourself as a better person, then you can do anything, honestly. What was the question again? I got caught up in the question.
No, like how should you let your trauma define you, basically?
Yeah.
Or like how much of an impact do you think that it has on your life?
Yeah, well, I think like you said, it can impact you in like different ways, but I also feel like everything does happen for a reason, which always gets me to like, okay, like, so did I go through that so I could be stronger? Like, that doesn't make much sense. Like, what do you guys think?
No, yeah, like there's like things on like TikTok, and it's like, you know how it's like, oh, like God's strongest soldiers, and like there'll be memes like, please don't put me in this. Like, because it's like, I get it, like, I sometimes, because I think about that stuff for a reason, and I think that like definitely all of our lives on this couch can be like a testimony, I feel like, for different things. Like we've definitely all rose above challenges, and we've all are in completely different spaces than we could have thought we would have been when we were younger. So I feel like just having the faith that like if something were to happen to you, or say you're experiencing something right now, like kind of like what I always say, like this is not like the end of your life, like, because if you think that, okay, that's it for me, this happened to me when I was a child and this is who I am, like how do you think that view is going to affect the rest of your life? Like you're always going to have that same mentality with everything, whether it's homework, whether it's a relationship, whether it's something you really want. Like it's so, exactly, like if you want to not fall into the line of trauma, you don't want to continue the trauma that you dealt with, then you have to put a stop to it, and you have to change whatever it needs to, whatever you need to change.
And obviously that comes into different situations. Like not everybody can just be like, oh, I'm going to change my situation, but that's why therapy exists.
Exactly.
Not everyone can afford therapy, but that's why Google exists. There's like different things you can do, and we're not here to like, we're not trying to say that, because I know there's a lot of people going through a lot in the world.
Yeah.
Change over.
Exactly.
So,
and I know that like some of them are kids, and some of them literally don't have a choice. But for me, I didn't have a choice when I was a kid with a lot of things, but I have a choice to think differently now. So I feel like it's all about your perspective. Are you going to make yourself the victim, or are you going to literally, like you said, rise above challenges and think, wait, this happened to me, but it doesn't define who I am. I define who I am. God defines who I am.
Exactly.
And whatever He says, like if you read anything from the Bible, you know that like you can rise above challenges with God. So if you know that, your circumstances shouldn't let you down. Like you should be able to, even if they do let you down for a little, because we're all human. You know, you're not gonna like, I'm strong, nothing's ever gonna like, that's literally the worst that you can do. Feel your emotions and like go through them, but know that you can be okay. And this can be not only a testimony, but it can be like a stepping stone, you know? Sometimes you might think that something terrible is happening, and in reality, it's actually like getting you to where you
Exactly.
are. So,
like, I feel like truly, like, me being laid off was like one of the best things that could have ever happened to me, to be honest. Like, I'm so sorry, because like, I don't think that like I would have been able to leave that job that I didn't like, that I was getting tired of, for one, and two, I would have led me to, like, me losing that job gave me enough time to apply for more internships, which I then got, and it also led me to an even better job where I was comfortable, I was making money, and that I was actually happy at. And like, I honestly think that with me also moving to Florida, like I told Jada, like moving to Florida was honestly like one of the best things that could have ever happened to me. And at the time when I was like 15 or 14, when I first found out, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm moving into a school junior year of high school, like where everybody's known each other for 10 years already. Like, how am I gonna do that? But in the end, like, I made amazing friends, and I continued to make amazing friends and to connect with people, and it was great. So Yeah, and I wouldn't have been able to see that if I was just thinking so lowly and, you know.
Even when I moved to Florida too, because I had just moved here from Brazil.
Exactly.
I got to Massachusetts. I made a few friends. I'm not gonna say I had a whole lot of friends, but I definitely met a lot of people. I had some friends. Like, I was getting comfortable, and then my parents were like, "What do you think about moving to Florida?" We came here for a week, visited. I fell in love, and I was like, "I'm down."
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, but like, it's like you just have to get to a point where you trust yourself enough, and that's why I say getting to know yourself. Because if you get to know yourself and you understand your weaknesses and your strengths, like I also had to go to a new school my junior year. I also had to go to a new school my freshman year of college, high school. So it was just like, it gets a lot, but everything can be a build of character if you let it be. You know, like there are people who are not very developed because they don't put themselves out there and they don't let themselves take risks, or even because like sometimes like life just hasn't happened for you that way, but is it because you just didn't, or is it because you're not stepping out of the box, you know? Like for me, I'll say a lot of things happened because of my parents, and I used to like really question them a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But now I'm like, honestly, like you guys are doing great. Like you had no fear in making decisions. You wanted to take risks. You wanted to do better in life. And I feel like a lot of people will get to a point where they're jealous and they're like, that's just luck. Well, maybe it would have been luck for you too if you decided to make that move.
Exactly.
And you weren't so scared.
Exactly.
But it's also like, what do you really want? You know, like I'm never gonna compare my situation to anyone's situation. So it's like, it's once you know yourself, you can figure out what you want for yourself.
And on that topic of knowing yourself, I think about this all the time. So a lot of people are told that they have core traits. So when I was growing up, I was told I'm extremely shy, I'm very smart, and I love to read. And I heard that over and over and over again. And I started to believe that those were the really true things about me, that I'm extremely shy and that I will never not be shy a day in my life. But it's like, no, I was shy then, but that, just because I'm hearing that all the time from people doesn't mean like it's going to be my reality forever. So I truly believe personality is malleable. Yes, I am reserved, but no, I don't think I'm shy.
I don't think you're shy
all.
either.
Yeah, you're here right now.
Yeah.
Doing this
Exactly.
podcast, right? So I think also knowing yourself means being open to change too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Because my mom always says like, the best thing she learned is that she can change her mind and opinion.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's true. Like you're not stuck to who you were yesterday or 3 years ago. And if you think that, then you're stuck.
Exactly.
I love that though. It reminds me that like I used to get called clumsy a lot, and sometimes even lazy. You know I was lazy, and that can get to you. And I'm sorry, but like you don't have to believe what family members who are not healed told you.
No, I was saying like I agree with that because I feel like that can also get misconstrued in relationships as well, like romantic ones. Like if you have a partner that is kind of like in an argument or in a disagreement, it's saying that you're like annoying or you're this or you're things like that. Like because you care about a person, you may trust their judgment. This could be a sibling too or a friend. Like you're gonna be like, oh, like I am this. Like, this person knows me. Like they see me. Like, am I this? And you may start to question yourself. But that's why, like both of you said, like knowing who you are is so important because like you can just block that out and be like, no, like what are you talking about?
But also having an open mind because sometimes you may be annoying. Like,
yes, certain circumstances.
No, but like my sister has definitely called me annoying before, and like I'd be like, and now I understand. Like, maybe I was, but she, you know what I mean? And like. It's hard with the sibling situation because they always say whatever.
Yes.
I feel like when you know your weaknesses, it's like your triggers. Like, why am I like this? You know, what should I be changing? What should I not change?
Yeah, for sure. And even to your point about being called lazy, I remember when I was younger, I got called lazy so much. And I feel like if you know me,
I don't think you're lazy at all. I've been called lazy before too.
And it's just so crazy to me. Lazy is such an interesting concept because I would be called lazy when I was taking a nap.
Exactly. I was always afraid to take naps, like growing up. I'm so serious, just because like parents would be like, what are you doing? Like, and it's like, girl, like I'm 12, like I don't have any bills to pay. Like, Exactly.
I'm
Like,
sorry I chose to watch it.
I know.
Making dinner.
That's how I felt. I was so confused being called lazy. I'm like, I'm an honor roll student. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, what else
How
would
can
you
a
expect
7-year-old
from
be
me?
lazy? It's just so weird.
It is.
But you said the thing about the relationship, how a person like trusts.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask you guys, you can help me face the question, but it was like, would you say love is a choice or a feeling?
Yeah, I think.
Is that the right question?
Yeah,
Yes.
love is a choice or feeling. Love is such a choice for me. I think the initial moment of romance is obviously a feeling. It's a huge feeling.
Yeah.
But the choice to continue to meet up with them, the choice to continue to know someone deeper when those big initial feelings go away. Because when you first meet someone, it's like, oh, who is this? I want to know everything about them. And after a year, you might know a lot, but it's still the choice to
Keep fighting. Like, not fighting, keep fighting. No, but to keep going. Yes.
keep learning, keep exploring. It's for me, it's a choice. Like, what do you guys think?
I think that I think it's love is a feeling and a choice. It's a feeling that can be felt, but you're right. Love is a choice to continue because, of course, like feelings are gonna change. Like, but I think that if you love someone, you'll always love them. But some days you can get into a disagreement, or some days you can have like the best day ever. At the end of the day, the love will still be there, but it's a choice to continue loving them the same amount despite things that happen between you guys. Like, that's how I feel like I know you know it's real.
Like, every day I choose you.
Exactly. No matter what. Like it says in the marriage, in sickness and in health, and like that's true. Like, what are you gonna do if like I don't like put a dish away, or if like say I make a mistake financially, or say I do something that upsets you? Like, are you gonna leave? Are you gonna stop choosing the love, or are you gonna keep going? Yeah.
I also think it's a choice, but I think that like the feeling obviously comes first.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that some people might get lazy and then they give up and then they stop choosing you because it's easier to choose something or someone else.
Because it's easier to just chase that big
Yeah.
feeling over and over again.
Exactly.
It's like, are you willing to sit here and understand me and understand yourself and understand what we both have to work on
Mm-hmm.
in order to keep loving each other and choosing each other? Or are you just willing to move on and call it quits because you, honestly, I'll say the word lazy, this big topic, like, it's because you're lazy and a quitter, you know, like, it might be different for everyone, and I don't know, sometimes I feel like if you can stop loving someone, then you never love them for real. What do you guys think?
I think so as well. Like I feel like it's like if you're able to move on so quick, or like you're able to just be like, all right, and just treat the person you're with like nothing. Like, I don't know, like that same with cheating. Like, I feel like if you cheat on somebody, I'm sorry, like you did not love them for real. Because in my head, like if you really love them, you would never do that.
Yeah, because for me, like so much of love is like, why would I hurt you?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. And respect and loyalty too. Like, are you kidding me?
But that's why also like love shouldn't come if you don't have respect and loyalty.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's just, oh, I love you, and it's like, okay, but like, do you really, you know?
Yeah, cheating to me feels like slapping you, Laila. Like, why would I do
I know.
Why would I do that? It feels so absurd in that way.
I also feel like it's a betrayal in like God, because it's like if you tell someone you love them, but you keep going behind their back and do something that you know would hurt them, and you know that's out of character, then it's like, who really are you? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so true. Any last final thoughts for anybody?
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Wow. So 5 years, I'll be 29.
Ooh.
Which is almost 30.
I'll be 26. Can you believe that?
Yes, I'll be 27.
I'll be like, that's crazy.
It's crazy. I have no idea. I can't answer that. I hope.
But like, what do you want to be?
Yeah, I hope that continue to feel as good about my life as I do now. As I answered it in the beginning of this podcast, I just feel blessed. And I hope that if you ask me in 5 years, that's still my answer. Yeah. That's it.
Great.
Blessed. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming, Jada. This is so fun. I really appreciate it. Yes. So I guess we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Thank you for watching.
Bye.
That was good.
Thank you.
Yay.
Should we take a picture?
Yes, on the couch, and we can take a couple selfies. Can we do